Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye, bye. This is a good one. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I be kicking. And I appreciate the support. I'm very humbled. Red rag southsiders, right? Do they really exist? Is it for real? Well, I'm here to tell you, yes, indeedy. I'm about to write graffiti on the bus. There are Southsider gangs in Southern California that have always wore red paños. They have always wore the red color to separate them from other gangs, from their enemigos, from people they don't associate with. They've wore red because that's just the fucking color they want to wear. They could do whatever the hell they want to do. See, every gang it doesn't mean just because you are a Sureno or a Norteño that you have to wear a specific color all the time. You could wear whatever the hell you want to wear. Just make sure that you're wearing the right colors when you're in the right spot. I'll just say that, right? Because red and blue does matter to certain individuals. Does it matter to Southsiders? Not necessarily, right? But it does matter the symbolism of your barrio, right? Whatever your hood colors are, that's probably what you're going to prefer to wear. That's just how that is in Southern and Northern California. Now, there's a video that's going viral right now. Florencia 13 had a hood day. Look, I understand that barrios have days that they represent and they take as their own. And of course, Friday the 13th has always been F13 day. Actually, it was a day, Friday the 13th, which I'm going to explain to you right now. That was a day for all the F gangs, not necessarily just for Florencia, but all the F gangs. When I was in the youth authority, all the Southsiders from F gangs on Friday the 13th, they showed up and showed out. That's when a lot of shit went down. Everybody was peeping game on Friday the 13th. There wasn't too many Friday the 13th, but when they fell, them F gangs acted out. They turned up, right? But there's a hood vlog that's going viral because on a hood day, which I don't ever recall Mexicans utilizing that term hood day. That's always been a brother thing. The blacks always had hood days, the 60s hood days, the Avalon's hood days, the A-Trays hood days, the Hoover hood day, right? But I guess now that's just the title that's given. But Florencia 13 held a hood day, and it's kind of going viral on social media right now, and not because of how they were acting and not because of what was going on in that particular hood on that particular day, but more so because of the color red that was being worn by members of Florencia. People are tripping. Why are there a bunch of Southsiders running around South Central LA wearing red? The real question is, why not? See, colors don't matter in Southern California because you don't have the epidemic or the problem of North versus South. That is not a street problem in Southern California. Once you pass Bakersfield, the Norteños on the minds of Southsiders cease to exist. Now, I know with social media and with these rappers and with people like Bozo and Blue Devil and these guys that always have Norteños in their mouth, right, and are always speaking about Norteño politics and Norteño stuff, they are the ones that are making the Norteño movement relevant in Southern California. And, of course, when Norteños like Thumper and other guys pull up to Southern California, they are the ones that are making the Norteño movement relevant. But all in all, throughout the history, Southsiders in Southern California could care less or give a shit about what Norteños got going on, as well as Norteños could give a fuck less what Southerners got going on in Southern California. Now, there are upstaters, which are a whole different group that fly under the same flag as Southsiders in LA. So they are not to be distinguished as different. A lot of people like to say, those are just upstaters. They're not the same thing. Hey, when they go to prison, they are the same thing. They are exactly the same thing. They represent the Sur. They represent that whole cause right there, right? And that's just how they rock. So yes, me, myself, when I was gangbanging, I didn't see any Southsiders from whatever city as different. A Southsider was a Southsider, no matter what fucking color they wore, no matter what team they were representing. I don't care if they were 49er fans. I assume they were from San Fernando Valley, right? That's just me having been clechad up and gamed up enough to know what a real Southsider is and what a real Sureño is. And believe me, Southsiders and Sureños are two whole different things, just like Northerners and Norteños, two whole different things. There are those that are dedicated to that cause and have given up their life for that cause. And then there are those that are just from a barrio and represent, but have never made that ultimate sacrifice. Now, I'll say this without getting into much of the gang politics, because at the end of the day, that's not for all of us to understand. That's for those that need to. That's a need to know basis. And I'm not nowhere near that basis, but I know, right? This clip is going viral because these guys, these youngsters are wearing red. Now, let me explain something to you guys. Youngsters nowadays don't give a shit about colors. All they give a shit about is that fucked up Pontius Pilate haircut, that SpongeBob backpack, and that big ass AR that they shove down them skinny tight ass pants. And I don't understand how it fits, right? But that's all they're concerned with. They're concerned with clout. They're concerned with creating and causing as much chaos as they can to their enemies and to people who they will make their enemies by the way they act. And that's pretty much it. Now, when I seen the Florencia hood vlog, right, of their hood day, I understood why they were doing it. I understood that Friday the 13th is symbolism of F13. I understood that that's a day that they represent that's been carried on. There's a tradition there. Florencia is a very well-respected gang in Southern California and has been in and out of the prison walls. It's probably one of the most respected barrios, right? Their leadership is way up to par. Their peoples have always represented to the fullest. And they have always did their thing in their area, right? As far as gang related. Now, I'm not here to glorify gangs and say they're cool and it's cool to be one. Not at all whatsoever, right? To me, as old as I am, I understand why there's a lot more strikes against gangs than there is for them, right? But I seen these youngsters running around and I see them wearing red. And then I seen a lot of people, why are they wearing red? Are they Norteños? What are they doing? They're Southsiders. Why are they wearing red? First of all, Florencia has always wore red. There are clicas within that gang that are all red. There are gangs out there in Southern California like Cherryville, in Pomona, that wear red. There are gangs in Wilmas that are Southsiders that wear red. There's Culver City, okay? There's Red Steps in San Diego. There's a lot of different gangs in Southern California that represent the Sur, the South Side, but have always wore red. That's just their hood colors. I remember there was a gang in Sacramento, California that wore green and they wore the color teal blue because they were separated. The Garden Blocks used to wear green. They used to wear the teal blue color. There was gangs in San Jose that wore burgundy or black rag. And it wasn't because they weren't Norteños. It was because that was the colors that they preferred. That was the colors that their hood chose. Now, does that mean because you wear blue, you're a Southsider? No. I got a lot of homeboys from my neighborhood that were Dodger fans, Cowboy fans. If you've seen, I got a homeboy in particular that if you've seen him, you would 1,000,000,000% think he was a Southsider representing LA. He's big LA shirt, Dodgers, big Cowboys. I used to question the shit for a minute there. Like, what's up, Bessie? Right? And then I had to hit him with the N because I wasn't too sure. But at the end of the day, what team you choose, what color you wear doesn't define the man you are. It's just symbolisms. Okay, now when it comes to the brothers, we all understand the Crips and the Bloods. And look, I'm going to put it out there for reals because there's not many motherfuckers like me that are going to say it. Brothers, you won. I give it to you. Y'all motherfuckers did that, right? When I see brothers, when I see that the black and brown have like an issue on social media, and I read the comments, black and brown, and I hear the brown comments, right, saying the raza saying, nah, we ain't trying to be like blacks. We ain't trying to do that. We're this, we're that, we're that, we're this, right? And I see the brothers, man, you guys are stealing this from us. You guys are stealing that from us. You guys are trying to be us. I'm going to keep it real. I don't know if the brothers created the Pontius Pilate haircut. They might say they have. And if they did, you guys could have that one. You motherfuckers could have that one, right? That's all you. The painted fingernails, the tight pants, if you want that, you could have that too. Belle Biv DeVoe did wear some tight pants. But I'll say this for sure. a lot of the raza gangs that I'm seeing now, these youngsters are saying the N-word a lot. They are saying traditional black sayings like on the hood, on gang, on mamas, on the dead homies, things I never heard said before. And I don't want to sit here and say they're talking black because there is no way to talk black, but they sure are saying some of the fucking slang words that blacks have used for decades. And it's a lot of Mexicans that are saying it. Right. So when I see things like that, that's what pops out to me. And I could say truly, the brothers do have a stance. Their flag is planted. They can say there's a lot of essays, a lot of Mexicans, a lot of raza running around saying the N-word, saying on the hood, listening to rap music, dressing hip hop, talking like they never grew up talking in their neighborhood, and then want to turn around and say NK or want to turn around and say that they kill black. You're like, come on, man, stop it. You know, you are a product of your environment, I understand. But on one hand, you can't say, oh, I'm allowed to say the N-word because that's how I grew up, but I want to kill them same people. Nah, that doesn't work. Anyways, I seen that from videos and from this hood vlog. I'm not going to disrespect Florencia and say they were all acting like that, but there were vatos that were saying things that made me question, because I've been around a lot of vatos from Florencia. Rest in peace, Crazy Boy from Florence, right? I've been around since I was a youngster around these dudes, and I always respected their neighborhood because they always carried that cultura. They always carried their traditions. They were always about the business. Man, I remember there was a dude from Florencia, and every 18th streeter that walked in the building, he got off on him. Didn't win every fight, but he made sure that he was there. He showed up, right? So, and I seen pictures in his photo album, and guess what? He was wearing red T-shirts in all of them. So yes, man, for those that are tripping on, you know, different parts of that viral hood day, look, Florencia has been doing that for years. Like I said, man, let me take it back to the youth authority days. F gangs. What do I mean by F gangs? Any gang that started with the F, Florencia, Fontana, F Troop, just so there's so many others, right? Frogtown, like all these gangs that started with the F, when it was Friday the 13th, that was the day of reckoning. That was the day that they chose as their day, and they would fuck some shit up in YA, man. And everyone had to be on point because there was something going to crack off guaranteed. You know, in prison, it was not necessarily like that. In prison, there was no time for kiddie games. There was no time for Friday the 13th or Saturday the 15th. There was none of that. Okay? There's days that traditionally represented Mexican independence. You would have to be on point for that. The Norteño Independence Day, which coincides with Mexican independence, you would have to be aware of that. And other days that Southsiders represented, or days that were special to them. And those days you had to watch out because someone might get whacked on that yard. But other than that, it wasn't like they were doing a Friday the 13th, nor were they doing Halloween. Okay, it just wasn't happening. To see the Florencia Hood Day vlog, like I said, some of these hood vlogs I see, I never thought I would. I never thought that I would see these groups allow cameras into their barrio to see their traditions and their reglas, basically, right? But it's happening, and it's becoming a trending thing, and people are more open to it. And I guess being in a gang or showing your gang and representing your gang is just like flash, pizzazz, right? It's the thing to do. So it's going to continue to happen until someone gets hurt. That's facts, right? But for the people that are running around questioning why was Florencia wearing red, why not? They've always wore red. Not every clique in the gang, but a few of them do. Okay, and then someone asked me, why would they wear red? What's your position on it? What do you think? Did they just choose that color out of a hat and say, we're going to wear red today? I think it stems from their beef with, this is just me personally, and I could be wrong, but I think it stems from, you know, being from the Florence district, the sign is red. You know, it could be that they took that symbolism of the, you know, the district that they're from, the Florence district, which the color is red, and utilize that. Or it could also be that they had a long feud with the East Coast Crips for years, who we know's color is blue. So of course, what do you do when you're in direct opposition? You become in direct opposition. So if someone, a gang that you're beefing with, all wears blue all day, every day, then you wear red to basically throw it in their face, to let them know, hey, homie, we are against you. So that could be it, right? I don't know because I'm not from that hood. And even if I did know, for sure, it's not my reasoning to tell you. I'm not in no position to tell you to speak on that. That's on Florencia to give you that historia, right? The history. But I will tell you this. A lot of people are questioning it. Gunner, the Southsiders really wear red? They wear pink too. What they usually got to catch them on the late night. Look, Sur Gang, right? Ask Tommy Guns. That vato was fucking in Santa Cruz, like fucking throwing up. And when he turned around, he had pink tarantara. I seen him. I seen it. What are you doing, Tommy? Get at me, I said. Straight up. That's different. You could tell by the writing on the wall, the doctor thought I was going to be a girl. Yeah, so do the homies. Right now, look, I'm going to tell you guys right now, all bullshit to the side, there's always been red rag Surenos in the history. Okay, this red and blue symbolism for North and South was created in CDC, actually in the Youth Authority, right? They used to hand out red bandanas and blue bandanas on the yard. And somewhere along the line, they started to hand out these bandanas, and these people utilize these bandanas to separate themselves, just like everyone does, just to show you are not me and I am not you. You know, I remember in the Youth Authority, one thing that we used to do, we weren't really big into, I mean, everybody wanted to get tattoos because that was the locked up thing to do. But we weren't really big into, back in them days, getting them on our head and our face. 90s gay members just wasn't like that. Now you see Vatos all blasted. I got tattoos on my head. But what we chose to do as North and South to separate each other, because we were doing time in the same prison or the same Youth Authority, was we would get either 3 dots or 4 dots or a XIV or a 14 or a 13 or a VOD over our eyes, over the eyebrow or under or whatever in this area, just to let people know, don't fucking hit me up. I said, this is where I'm from. Okay, that's what that was all about. And to distinguish and let people know exactly where we're coming from. You know, I had a 14 over my eye. Did it make for good content? It did, because I got stabbed, I got beat, I got hit, I got shot. A lot of things happened over that motherfucking tattoo. So it didn't quite work out well for me, but it did what it was supposed to do and let everybody know that I was what I am and I was not what they were. Colors didn't matter to me. Never have, never would. Is red traditionally a color worn? Is the majority of what you see around me red? Yes. I'm from Northern California. Red is just what it is. Everyone wears it, even non-gang members, right? Whereas in Southern California, you see a lot of Dodger colors. They happen to be blue. You see a lot of Lakers. You happen to see a lot of what traditionally would be utilized as Sur Gang, Southern California attire, but it's just a color. Look, blue and red. It doesn't matter to me, right? And I'm not a gang member anyway, so why would it? But yeah, for that, people that are watching that Hood Day, that Florencia viral Hood Day, and saying, damn, they're wearing red. Yeah, fuck all that. They've been doing that. Focus on the language. Focus on the N-word. Focus on the bullshit. And understand that as a people, we are losing our culture. The brothers won. And I ain't mad at them. When the brothers say, hey, gun, these motherfuckers right here, man, keep it real. I got to keep it real. You can't say, man, on the hood, homie, on the hood, and then turn around and say NK on the hood. No. You are utilizing the brothers' style, swag, music, all that. And at the same time, trying to fucking backdoor them and shit on them. Don't do it. A real one doesn't do that. You know what a real one does? A real one loves and respects other cultures and shows love. Now, I understand in LA, it's different. In LA, they've been having beefs, black and brown, different hoods. Not all, I won't say black and brown, but I'll say brothers from different Crip gangs and Southsiders or Bloods. And, you know, they've been beefing. So I can understand, but don't make it a racial issue. Make it a hood issue, if that's what it is, right? So anyways, this is just something I wanted to put out. Are there real red rag Surenos in real life? Yes, in Southern California. In Northern California, you're not going to catch a motherfucking Southside wearing any type of red. If you do, that motherfucker wants to be a Norteño. I trip out when I see Tommy Guns, but look, here's respect. I see Tommy Guns, Sur Gang, right? I see him. He wears a lot of red. Let's keep it real. They're about to always be wearing a lot of red. And I question it because I understand, like I said, I'm going to sit here and do a video saying Southsiders, colors doesn't matter. Hats matter more to them, different teams and shit, right? But colors don't really matter. But that Vato's an upstater. That Vato is a Southsider from up north. And as much as he hates Norteños because he keeps them in all up in his dientes every time he's rapping, everywhere he goes, he's disrespecting them. To wear the color red, as much as he does being from up north, Southsiders don't do that. Not no upstaters I know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm out of the loop. Maybe I'm just too fucking old, right? But I ain't never seen it before. Not seen it, seen it. See, brothers? I'll fuck with you too. Anyways, with that being said, Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. And ask yourself this. Is a color really a big deal? Why are people tripping? Oh, southsiders are wearing red. So what? I'd be more fucking tripped out if they were wearing teal green and eyeshadow. That would trip me out. For real. This is the gun, man. Bang, bang.